That's good. Okay. I'd like to call the Finance Public Hearing to order, meeting to order. The Finance Committee is here. Oh, it's the whole council?
Yes, it's for the whole council.
Oh, okay. Do we have a quorum? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so, okay. So we will call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. If you would call the roll, please.
Cologne Hayes. Here. Condon. Here. Crow. Here. Linehan. Here. McDonald. Here. Murphy.
Here.
O'Malley. Here. Sika. Simonelli. Winslow. Spatafora.
If you want to sit, you can sit there.
I was just doing a public hearing. Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't know you started already. I heard you, that's why I ran out.
Back to finance.
She runs the meeting, correct. Yeah, I'm going to turn the mic over to her. Do you do the attendance?
Yes.
Yeah, they're in 2 letters. All right, thank you for calling the full council to order for the public hearing for finance. I will turn the micro, so the process is part of our ordinance, it requires to have a public hearing for the budget. And this is that actual process right now for the public hearing. We do have a couple submissions, I think, via email. I was just talking to the clerk, I don't know how many total, but I will turn it over to the chairman of finance to run the meeting. So Councilor Murphy, this meeting is, you are the chair of finance, you run the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Let me get the other 2.
And if we would have the city clerk read, well, first of all, are they in favor or opposed?
Just suggestions.
Just suggestions, okay. Okay. Well, why don't we have you, we've opened the meeting, why don't we have you read the comments that you received, and then we'll do those in favor and those opposed.
Okay, the first one is, Dear Clerk Lucy and Councilor Murphy, please accept this written comment and add it to the meeting record for the 6/14/22 public hearing on fiscal year 2023 budget. I ask that the City Council enthusiastically approve and expedite the expenditure of city, state, and federal funds for the required cleanup of hazard materials at Roosevelt Park. Further, I ask that the City Council disapprove and prohibit the expenditure of any funds for the purpose of installing synthetic artificial turf athletic surfaces at Roosevelt Park. I also ask that the City Council enthusiastically approve and prioritize the expenditure of city, state, and federal funds for the improvement of Roosevelt Park with natural living grass surface, as has been called for by the Community Preservation Committee and many residents. Finally, I ask that the City Council review and revote any dormant bonding requests previously approved but not finally acted upon. There is precedent for this kind of good governance review, such as the biennial review and council rules for papers not finally acted upon. At a minimum, my request calls for a review and revote of the $1.5 million bond for the Roosevelt Park Improvement Project, passed but not finally acted upon by the City Council more than 3 years ago. Thank you sincerely, Brian DeLacy, 1 Earl Street. Dear City Clerk, over many years I agonized and reviewed our city budget. I felt it to be my most important responsibility as a city councilor. I questioned the life of bulletproof vests, line items that I wasn't sure existed, school department needs, IT department needs, DPW equipment needs, and encouraged department heads to come to finance for their asks. Many of my colleagues did the same. It is my hope, and I strongly advocate, that the council approve and prioritize the expenditure of city, state, and federal funds for the improvement of Roosevelt Park with a natural living grass service, as has been called for by the Community Preservation Committee and so many residents within our Malden. Within the funding, my further recommendation is to create new parks department solely responsible for the maintenance and grooming of our beautiful and limited green spaces. The future of Malden depends on it. Thank you, Debbie and Al Di Maria, 144 Maple Street, Malden, Mass. And there was also a third email that I think most of you had the printout from the Malden Police Alternative Accountability Group that will go into the public record. It's about 8 pages with graphs, so it's too long to read, but it will get attached to the records.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. With that, we'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the budget? Oh, yes, Councilor O'Malley.
Sorry, I had put this on prior. I was hoping to speak before. Is this meeting being televised or recorded, or the hearing?
We did ask for it to be televised, yes.
It is? Okay. Yeah, the only, and I'm happy to hear that. I mean, the only reason I mention it is because I have gotten emails about the scheduling of this event on an off night. I know something that many of us have expressed is that we are dismayed that residents don't come out and ever testify during the budgeting process. Usually there's no one ever appearing here. And so I do think that, you know, in the future, we should try to schedule this during a normal meeting where we do have more attendance and hopefully could get more people to participate. I think it's a give and take on both parts, but I do appreciate that it is being recorded. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor O'Malley. With that, once again, we'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the budget, please come up to the microphone and state your name and address. Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Seeing none and hearing none, I will close that portion of the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak against the budget? Please come forward, state your name and address. Anyone wishing to speak against the budget? Please come forward, state your name and address. Seeing none and hearing none, I declare that portion of the public hearing closed. That concludes our public hearing. Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Councilor.
Yeah, thank you. I just had a clarification for the folks who might be watching. So this is the public hearing on the budget, and Finance will vote on the budget subsequent to this hearing. And I appreciate the hearing happens before the vote, so I think that's important. If folks are watching this and they would still like to offer public comment on the budget, they will be able to do that when it's scheduled to be voted on by the council, which we anticipate to be June 21st, next week. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you. I just want to make sure, for folks who are watching this, they know that that's one other opportunity for them to comment in addition to being able to email all of us at any time.
Thank you, Councilor McDonald. With that, motion to end the public hearing? Seconded by motion by Councilor Winslow, seconded by Councilor O'Malley. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? With the Finance Committee would return to our finance meeting.